And this is the XM2076. This thing right here is a standalone, highly customizable sniper type weapon with custom animations along with that. And basically this thing in real life, according to the mod developer on his page, he says that this thing is here to replace the M24 on the US Army. So that's what we'll go with. So getting into the attachments here, first of all for the receivers, you don't have a whole lot of these, but the deadly armor piercing receiver will net you the best damage, which is pretty neat. So we'll go ahead and chuck that on. Next up for the barrels, we've got a whole range of short, medium and long barrels. The bull barrels aren't supposed to have suppressors on them, so yeah, we'll just chuck on the regular long barrel there and that should be good. And you can't do anything to the stock, that's just how it is. And the magazine can be improved by giving it larger ammo capacity, but that actually doesn't change the mesh for some reason, but we'll go with it. Next up for the sights, we want to probably chuck on a scope on there, and the good thing about the scopes is that they have a vanilla variant and a see-through scope variant, which is actually really cool. We'll go for the see-through one now, but if it turns out to be less than practical, we'll go over to the vanilla one, even though it does give you bad tunnel vision. Anyway, so next up we've got the muzzle attachments, which have bull barrel tip for the bull barrel with barrels, so we don't have a bull barrel on right now, so we'll leave that alone. You can have a muzzle brake, a suppressor, one with no cover, and a T-brake muzzle, which looks kind of cool, but we're obviously going for a suppressor. You can have a cover on that if you want to, but that just ruins the aesthetics for me. I prefer suppressors looking a little bit like that. And you can change the zoom distance on your scope, and usually I like to go short scopes at ×4, so ×5 is what we'll go with. And you can change the suppressor camera if you feel like it there. And having frame rate issues, even though we're just looking at the weapon here. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of things you can use, but we'll just go for a simple Brotherhood of Steel thing. So we'll go for that on the suppressor too. And if we could just scroll down to the camera here. And yeah, now we've got a Brotherhood of Steel XM2076. And also you can have a bipod on this thing, so you can have it folded or extended, and if you have the no stats version, you have no stat changes, but if you have the one with stat changes, they improve accuracy and range whilst increasing aiming times substantially. So it'll take a little bit longer to scope in, but you'll get a little bit more accuracy and range out of it, sort of like you're actually putting the thing on the ground or resting the bipod on something, but obviously you can't really do that in Fallout 4, so we'll just leave it folded with no stats there, just have it for more aesthetic value. And you can change the range on this up to 80% more, and you can have a laser sight on your rail there, so that's pretty cool. We may as well chuck that on. You can change the accuracy on a slider, and of course the recoil, which is it's confusing because it's a bolt action rifle, so recoil really doesn't really change how the weapon performs because it's going to be firing that slow anyway. And you've got a damage slider here, which we might use later on because this thing's only showing 350 damage, and with a fire rate of 3 this thing might come up a little bit underpowered, but there you go, that's our XM2076. We'll take this into Gunner's Plaza, see what it can do. Righto, here we are in Gunner's Plaza with our XM2017, and there's the reload animation just before we get into it. Now I have come here at midnight for a very specific reason, and that is to make sure we get as many sneak attack criticals as possible, because this thing only does 350 damage, and in doing that we are pretty much going to get completely destroyed by these gunners because, oh god, the turrets are shooting at me. I hate it when they do this, because that explosive turret down there gives you screen shake so much that it makes aiming weapons completely... See, look at this. The fact that I've got a see-through scope that gives me tunnel vision already isn't bad enough. These bloody fucking turrets have to just annoy the shit out of me while doing that. Anyways, we'll quickly close that door because I don't feel like being shot in the back by that gunner. And for some reason I didn't hit that, even though my reticule was directly on them, so I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe my barrel wasn't far enough along the thing. So I took out that Mark 1 turret, but now we have to wait until this stupid ass turret has stopped bursting for me to actually get in a shot. We'll go for a no scope there. Oh no, we missed again because of bad hitboxes. I sure love Bethesda games sometimes. And another shot on you. Down you go. Okay, good. So now we are a little bit better off now that the automatons are down. They're a little bit less or more perceptive than their gunner brethren, so we should have an easier time killing the rest of these. Peek around the corner, knock out this turret as we go across here, and we'll finish off usually what is the legendary gunner that's sitting in here. She's coming around, she's backing herself into a corner, and you know what, we'll go for a VATS critical on you because, oh, we didn't actually get a kill on you like that. Okay, we'll just follow it up with immediate hits there, and hopefully that doesn't mean we're detected. We're not, we're just in caution. I believe, I don't know, I'm going to coin the term soft caution when they can't, or soft danger, I reckon, and I can't hit him? He's just standing there. I think I just got trolled by the hitboxes again. Well, whilst you're standing around over your dead corpse, mate, I'll just go ahead and shoot you in the face and make sure we don't fire over this thing right here because that's still a hitbox. Let me demonstrate. Notice how the square isn't coming up at all? Ugh, this place is bad. Okay, so we just quickly get a VAT shot on you. We'll just take you out with a penetrator perk since you're not feeling like moving. Down you go. Okay, so far so good. Haven't been spotted, and the moment we do, we can see the true ridiculousness of this weapon's lack of power. But I don't want it to come to this, so we'll play this nice and stealthy for once, actually not go too aggressive on people. So if you could just stand still there, that would be good. Down you go. Okay, legendary gunner down. Some people are alerted, but that's fine. It's probably even Captain Bridget down there that I've pissed off. Indeed it is. You get a crit to the face, Captain Bridget. Hopefully that will knock you down in one hit. Yes, it did. Excellent. Okay. So, the way you got to make this work is just to hang back and perform sneak attack criticals at all the time. And as soon as you are detected, just switch to something else because you're wasting your time if you're trying to attack people with this thing outside of not danger. So, the hipfire accuracy on this weapon is fine for what it is. You don't expect it to be good anyway because they're meant to be precision weapons. We'll just go ahead and... Okay, I'd like to mention that this is absolutely horrible for aiming when your tunnel vision is like this. I am actually regretting using this thing without a vanilla scope now because this is awful. The sight housing is just covering up anything. This is probably why that Bethesda didn't make see-through scopes a thing in this game because ugh. If that's the way it's going to be implemented, then it's not great. Okay, so we've managed to take out the ones that are close in our faces, and we missed that first shot for some reason, so if you could just die. I see the turret there. Can't hold your breath in see-through scopes either, because really all it does is add the scope keyword that would make it work with sniper, and just give the FOV slider like 10, and it'll just give you the same sort of zoom in as you would with a scope. But it's not all that fun. Also, I'm pretty sure the one in there I didn't kill, but she's not showing up. She's not in there, so we'll just press on here. We'll keep on sneaking instead of getting up to sprint around because getting detected with this weapon means shooting them with 4 or 5 308s to the face to actually kill them, which is bad. Anyway, we've knocked out that gunner and we're back into hidden, so you know what, we'll just sprint up this last bit here and get stuck into these gunners. Now, one of the good things about having a see-through scope is that you can scope in or aim down sights in third person and not have the terrible scope in your way, but you do lose your zoom, so it does make it a little bit better in close quarter situations. And also don't move while you're cranking the bolt because, yeah, as you can tell there, it resets the animation and you can't actually rechamber the bloody thing, and you can't even reset that by shooting, so make sure you stay firmly planted when you're shooting with this thing. This is a limitation of the hunting rifle animations and nothing to do with the mod, but when you base things off the hunting rifle and all of that, you're going to get all of the drawbacks that comes with it, including its terrible damage disease. But you can change the damage, you can balance it better, you can actually make the sniper rifle powerful. But yeah, this weapon, while it may look pretty and all good, and the animations are good, yeah, this thing doesn't really cut it in terms of performance, but luckily they gave us a damage slider, so we're going to tune up the damage to its maximum as we get into the super mutants here. So let's go and do that. Okay, so we've turned the damage up to plus 80%, and we've also chucked the instigating effect and the vanilla scope, brilliant, onto this thing. So this time we should be able to kill these super mutants a lot easier, and hopefully this thing will actually show some teeth in terms of damage. And that's one of the things I'm sort of thinking about as I'm recording this, as it's I don't think the modder played this game on very hard and was able to properly balance it for such a difficulty. And it is my sort of idea, or just general thinking, that all weapon mods should be balanced to the highest difficulty, because if they're not, you get these lackluster weapons that just don't do anything and are completely terrible to use. But using this vanilla scope here, we're actually doing a little bit better damage now. This is the same zoom, but I feel like I'm actually have a better shot at these super mutants and a better picture of where they are. Yeah, to point to the vanilla scopes there, and people probably aren't a fan of them as much as I am, but yeah, it's seeming to be very powerful here. So we're cutting down these super mutants nice and easily. We'll just knock out that one with his conversation. Also, that one's got a Gauss rifle, so if we could just stand still. Thank you very much for making my job easier. Yeah, so this thing now, with the instigating effect and the damage tuned up, is certainly doing so much more damage now that it's actually tolerable, and I'm actually enjoying this thing now. And whilst the rate of fire on this thing is still pretty low, it's still fun to use regardless. It's more of a precision skill type weapon now that can actually perform well enough to help you out to make you actually want to use it, rather than just ditch this thing for just a regular vanilla Gauss rifle. So, you know, that's pretty good. And there's usually a super mutant in here. There you are. Good thing Winter is sneaky, because that dumbass there didn't realize that he was going to get shot at. And we'll go for another shot on you. Doing pretty well over here, Winter is. And I believe we've only been detected once throughout this video, so I think I've already killed all of the super mutants that are in here. So there you go. That was the XM2076 in Fallon's department store there, with my personal improvements, what you chuck onto this to actually make this good. So yeah, if you want to actually use this thing, so if you're playing on very hard, chuck this thing up to 80% damage, like plus 80% damage, and also chuck the instigating effect onto it, and you should have yourself a weapon more worthy of your use. Alright, so now that this thing is nice and powerful, now let's go ahead and take on a monster. Okay, time to take on a giant bear, so let's hope the XM2076 is up to the task. So there we go, we've scoped in with our little recon sensors there, and I'm pretty sure we don't really need the recon sensors to actually detect where this bastard is, but if we could just get a shot on his head, we can tell, or Vats is telling us, yeah mate, you'll do a lot of damage with that, so hopefully we can do that. We'll just penetrate right through that car there, and I like how as soon as the bullet hit the car, the bullet impacted him. Just the limitations of the combat system in this game sometimes that you come across is interesting. Anyways, so we'll just go ahead and try to take out the bears as we go along. We're doing pretty well. I'm on the verge of leveling up, so right now what I want to do is sort of focus on the big bear, and as soon as he gets us down to a low amount of health, we can kill one of the lesser bears, and that way we'll be able to just reset our health midway through the fight without it feeling super cheap. Okay, so now we're being attacked by a few Duskies, and there we go. We can get them to half health, and same with Rabbids in one shot there, which is pretty good. Also, I didn't pack 2x Sentinel's gear, so I took a little bit of unnecessary damage there. There's the big boy running away. We'll go ahead and just crit him again. Not doing a whole lot of damage. Actually, yes, we are. We're getting sneak attack crits again. He's somehow managed to elude him. But now that he's out of the way there, we can't get any hits there. And Penetrator perk really doesn't help when it's going through solid ground like that. But we did manage to get a crit back because the game calculates your way of getting VATS hits on probability. I thought that was the big one for a second, but no, you're a little bit too small. I'm going to leave you alone for now. I'm going to take on your boss instead, so if you would just... okay, now we are detected by the big old bear. We're not going to see any sneak attack criticals there. Doing only 403 damage, 484 now that we've got the thing kicked in there. Although, thankfully, using this thing with a scope means it procs a sniper perk, and in that way we can get him knocked down and hopefully get away from him. Okay, we're back into caution. Big Bear's seen us again, back into danger most likely, and a crit for you. Nice cinematic shot of pumping the bolt. It is worth mentioning that the third-person animations for this weapon are not actually from this mod. It's from just another mod made by Hitman to actually make the bolt-action hunting rifles right-handed without sacrificing the balance of the game in terms of rate of fire. And I use the term balance lightly because, well, the hunting rifle is anything but balanced unless you're playing on survival or very easy, I suppose. Okay, so now that bear is gone to mutation station and we're getting mauled by the other bears. We're going to leave him alone still and we'll wait for the big old bear to come here. Now that he has mutated though, he's be hitting us for double damage now what it'd usually be, so we're in a little bit of trouble when it comes to this dude, but we've got to level up just at the ready, so we'll just leave alone his bears. And although it's probably worth me taking them out now because they are obviously inhibiting my ability to stealth, which is slowing down my kill time, so we'll go ahead and just take out the bears now because I'm sick of them being around anyway. Excuse me, Dusky Yaoguai. Well, actually no, screw it. This plan sucked anyway. Okay, into Nerd Rage now, which is fine. We'll get... There's the Commonwealth Bear. We'll get a couple shots into you. Looks like we can get a maximum of 3. And then we'll finish off by killing that bear, the albino one. Oh, not quite leveled up just yet, but we've still got Nerd Rage going, which is good. We managed to get him sort of ready to get killed in one hit. And now we can just finish off this Dusky. Wham, level up, all of our action points are back, and we'll just finish off the rest of these bears. Also, that was the most pathetic bear swing I've ever seen. What were these dudes even thinking? We'll just use these guys to grind up criticals, I think. So, one more shot should do you in. Down you go, Mr. Bear, and now just one more to go. They've all pissed off because their AI tells them to run away if they can't reach you. And just one more Dusky, and then we can focus on the big boy. So you'll go down nice and easily, hopefully. There we go. One more shot should do you in. Get that reload on. And no scope. Okay, we'll try that again. Oh, didn't get the kill there. We'll bash him to death. Hooray. Alright. Now that the big bear is all on his own, we should get ourselves into caution soon if he tries to run. We've got him knocked down there, which will stop his movement for a second. And hopefully with that, we'll be able to slip in here, slipping out of danger right now. And all we need to do is just wait around until he is actually... Alright, back into caution. We may strike now. Okay, he's running over here. Hopefully we'll be able to get a nice little knockdown on him. No, he's actually sort of he's switched on this one. He's not playing games today, so I think we'll have to do the old bridge trick here where we go down this end of the bridge and emerge out the back, and as soon as we've done this, usually we're back into caution. Okay, now he's ran all the way over there. Sneak 5 should be kicking in. He should be losing us over a long distance. And if we can get a knockdown on him, that would be brilliant. Sneak attack on him there. And we're too far out of range in VATS to actually get him, but we're doing 4.4 times sneak attack damage now, which is great. Not seeing any benefit out of the instigating effect, unfortunately. Wow, he's gone all the way over there. Looks like the recon sensors in the scope have helped me out here because, yeah, he's much easier to track now. And we've got him knocked down due to the sniper effect there, which will stop him running away for a bit. And can I get a sneak attack crit on you? No, I can't. Come here. Come here, mate. Come here. Alright, back into VATS now. And we've got 5 shots on him, which should have him dead. Almost got him. We'll go for a crit. And here it comes. Inside the bay, you can see his eyeballs there. Generally, that's what happens when you go inside things. You can see their eyeballs, which is creepy. The funny thing about that is with the Red Scorpion's multiple eyes, you can see all of them at once, and it's interesting. The models are not supposed to be seen from the inside, they're only textured on one side, so once you go inside them it's quite an interesting sight. Alright, so we've almost finished this bear off now. We'll go ahead and crit him, and hopefully that'll do enough damage. 1700 damage there, that's doing pretty good. Although without the use of the sneak attacks we'd be doing much less damage, and much less damage without the damage or the damage increasing perks on this gun. But there you go, there you have it. That was the XM2076. One of the people, just a good study in the fact that when you don't balance your weapons for very hard, you have to sort of make adjustments for it to actually work. But yeah, if you like to see this weapon in your game, be sure to check out the description. If it's on Xbox One, there shall be a link down there too. And I'll probably have a little text on the start of the video to say if this is on Xbox One, but I haven't actually seen this mod before. It's not one that I've come across whilst watching the limited Fallout 4 mod shows that I do watch. So yeah, this thing is one that's gone under the radar, and I believe the Macmillan CS5 sort of already got this sort of aesthetic there, but maybe you like this weapon more than you like the Macmillan. So yeah, it's in the game, it's a good standalone weapon, solid weapon mods, textures and all of that. Yep, so link in the description. I've droned on enough. See you later. Thanks for watching.